Your face is the first thing that people notice about you, and it's what most people use to form their initial opinions of you. Your social status, education level, or even career choice doesn't come into play during this stage. Once you speak to people, their opinion might change, but until that happens, your face is the major determinant in deciding how people perceive you. Facial perception is especially important in social and personal settings, as it can affect your relationships, often negatively if you're perceived to be closed off and angry. Apart from your general facial expressions, especially in the resting phase, facial perception also depends on your facial attractiveness level. Generally speaking, attractive people are almost always perceived to be more outgoing, charming, and well-rounded, and this is partly due to what's known as the halo effect. This is usually the reason for higher social rankings being given to more attractive individuals. Recent studies have, however, shown that the social and professional success of attractive individuals is strongly related to the perceived intelligence, the key word being perceived. This means that attractive people are generally assumed to be smarter, which combined with their presumed positive personality traits gives them an edge over unattractive ones and results in them being more successful, much like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the question still remains, are the presumed intelligence levels any close to the actual IQ levels? Or is this just one giant misunderstanding? One study, performed by Czech scientist Kleisner in 2014, tried to answer this question and many more. For the study, participants were shown pictures of 40 males and 40 females. The participants were then asked to rate the subject's intelligence. The results of the study were quite interesting to say the least. To answer the main question, the leading author of the research found no connection between high assumed intelligence levels, high IQ levels, and general facial attractiveness, meaning that although attractive people may be perceived to be intelligent, it doesn't mean that attractive people are more intelligent. This, however, does not change the social norms, and attractive people continue to benefit from the illusion of higher perceived intelligence. Attractive people usually are more likely to get a job and even be given a higher salary than their unattractive counterparts, solely based on these societal perceptions and norms. However, there is a discrepancy when comparing these benefits between the genders. Women are usually perceived to be more intelligent if they are traditionally attractive, even more so than an attractive man. This may be due to the fact that women are usually more commonly and frequently judged based on their appearance when compared to a man. It would make sense then to see more successful women with high-paying jobs than their male counterparts, but this is not the case if we were to assume a normal distribution of intelligence and attractiveness. The research also answers this question in two parts. Firstly, most females were perceived to be intelligent based on their attractiveness and friendliness. High career motivations and strong work ethic are not seen as attractive features of a woman. In other words, they're not what men were looking for, hence reducing her to lower ranks of attractiveness. Moreover, dominant women are also perceived to be intimidating, abrasive, and too self-sufficient for their own good. That's the researchers' words, those are not my words. The overall lower ranking of attractiveness given to dominant females is what reduces their perceived intelligence, and hence their social and professional opportunities. Funnily enough, this term is called the Hillary effect. Secondly, Kleisner found a stronger relation and similarity between perceived intelligence and actual intelligence in males than in females. That may be due to the difference in criteria of perception for females versus males, as already mentioned. Moreover, men benefit more from being honest about their intelligence in an evolutionary sense than females. As discussed before, unfortunately, an intelligent woman may appear intimidating, and this may negatively affect her social and personal relations. However, a strong, attractive, and smart man acts as the poster boy for success. Also, intelligent men have an evolutionary benefit that women prefer them as mating partners and long-term partners to help raise the children. This is because intelligence and attractiveness on the genetic level is associated with healthy genes, which is what women prefer when choosing a mating partner to produce offspring with. Kleisner's research also found that there is a stereotypical facial structure that most people with high perceived intelligence have. Keyword again being perceived. According to his research, the facial trait associated with intelligence are a thin chin, large protruding nose, on a narrower than usual face. In other words, a leptoprosopic or a tall and narrow face shape. An oval and broad face, on the other hand, is stereotypically associated with lower perceived intelligence. My guess is that a lot of this has to do with the facial width to height ratio, which we've covered in detail in a lot of our defining beauty videos, so I suggest you go back there. We won't be covering it again here. Overall, the research seems to claim that pretty people are considered to be smarter, but aren't actually as smart. However, men have a smaller gap between their perceived intelligence and actual intelligence compared to the female population. This proves that there isn't a direct link between facial attractiveness and actual intelligence. But it doesn't change the fact that attractive people are more likely to succeed due to simply being perceived as more intelligent, which leverages you more social opportunities. Evolutionary psychologists believe that the positive link between facial attractiveness and intelligence exists as a result of assumed high genetic quality. Simply put, attractiveness is the result of healthy genes, as beauty is an indicator of health, and a healthy genetic makeup is required for a person to be both intelligent and smart, which is why there is a causal effect relationship forming between the two traits of healthy genes and intelligence. Although this is a great theory, it cannot be proven, mainly because when the genetic components are controlled and altered, the results do not change. So genetics cannot possibly have as big of an effect as assumed by evolutionary psychologists, or at least that's what the current research suggests. Perhaps further research into the topic will yield different and better results. Another limitation of this particular paper is that it is quite limited in its dataset of faces. I think other cultures will value intelligence quite differently to how it's perceived on the face here. The second plausible and more realistic reason for this existence of this stereotype is something known as assortative mating. Although Kleisner mentions mixed mating theory in his research, this is slightly different. Women usually prefer a mate that can provide for the offspring and themselves, which in simple terms refers to an intelligent man who can get resources, or a more successful man. According to Kleisner's research, an intelligent male is also an attractive male. I'm sure the incel community, or some community in general, or some fringe part of the internet is going to be like, oh, I'm such an attractive guy, I've got 200 IQ, but I can't get anyone to like me for who I am. Let me just clarify that both attraction, as in physical attractivity, and intelligence are both required. That is what Kleisner is suggesting. An intelligent man being intelligent does boost your attractiveness. Nobody wants to date somebody who's dumb as rocks, okay? Thank you. According to this theory, this mating theory, if intelligent men mate with attractive women, then both intelligence and attractiveness are heritable. The offsprings would both be smart and attractive. This is believed to have given rise to this stereotype, but it is safe to say that it's exactly what it is, a stereotype, not a fact. However, it is important to remember that your facial attractiveness does affect how you are perceived, and attractive people generally tend to be more successful, both socially and professionally, regardless of their intelligence. So you'll have to face it at some point. Looks are very important, but that doesn't mean there's nothing you can do to improve and work your way up the ladder. At CUVS, we have the CUVS Facial Aesthetics Report, where we apply all of the research that we know and the experience of our trained medical team to evaluate your face, and it's written by a team of doctors and dentists. I mean, where else are you going to get this kind of 20-page report, which is like 4 hours, 5 hours worth of their time at this price point? You're not going to get it anywhere else. So if you want a full facial aesthetic evaluation, go over to the website, get that. Also, Patreon, we have the podcast out on there. It's very interesting. I get to give my thoughts and opinions on pieces of research and just general fringe topics in the aesthetic space. I'll quickly list off some upcoming topics. So we have contributions of the face and body to overall attractiveness, which we've already done. Secondly, what do women want, which is based on a 2014 paper on the male and female gaze. The importance of auditory and olfactory traits in judgments of attractiveness. How important are your teeth to your overall face? And so on and so forth. So if any of that sounds interesting, visit the CUVS website. We've got AI projects, we've got so many things in the works. CUVS is an ever-growing company. And visit the Patreon because it's just some content, more content.